Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Walking Horse and Eastern Railroad modeled in 2-rail O scale. So let's take a look at what I'm up to. We're going to give you a panoramic view of the layout room. It's in a 12 by 32 building, and it's still on somewhat of an HO scale footprint benchwork wise. And lucky for me, what I'm modeling is not going to take up a lot more room or anything besides than what I would have to expand and do. So let's go here real quick. Here is a L&N caboose that my wife found me on eBay. It's still gotta get some work done to it and everything. But Wartrace, Tennessee has an L&N caboose and sets right by the CSX Chattanooga sub and right down there in downtown Wartrace, Tennessee. Let's go and take a look at what I'm doing. This is Wartrace right here. That's roughly laid out right now. I've got a lot going on, so it's one of those slow in progress things. As you can see, the left track right there toward the wall, that's CSX's main going southbound. And then you can see next to it, there is the passing track where the trains pass each other in that area. And as you can see, the next little two switches there, that little bend right there, that's called the stock pen. It is just basically where maintenance way equipment by CSX is left sometimes. And if you'll look over to the right, diverging off there, that is the Walking Horse and Eastern interchange, where they will drop, or where CSX will drop cars and pick them up from the Walking Horse and Eastern. So we're going to move on what would be westbound for Walking Horse and Eastern and Wartrace. And on the outside of Wartrace, you can see where the old Wartrace was when this was an HO scale layout. But I realized that a lot of things have got to be expanded. So let's go forward real quick. Right here is the Walking Horse main. Right outside of Wartrace is the TVA spur. From time to time, they do receive flat cars with transformers and any other equipment. So that will, in the 80s, 86 to 1998 is what I'm modeling. So that'll still be a thing. And also, Walking Horse and Eastern used it to shuffle cars back and forth before heading into town to Shelbyville. So we're going to go a little further. This right here is going to be redone. I'm kind of not happy totally with it, and plus things are getting moved downward. Even my industries will move further downward, back toward Wartrace, because as we know, O scale is bigger than HO, so it's you have to kind of move things, from where it was. Anyway, I made those wood vents myself with a pattern that I developed on a piece of paper, so I can just keep duplicating. And I'm planning on this to be done in a lot better way, give or take. But I'm going to let y'all just have a quick little look at the work that I did on them. But anyway, so the next customer right now, which will be moved further down, will be Shelbyville Recycling. Walking Horse and Eastern used to would ship spot box cars. They would ship out bales of cardboard and paper and off to interchange. So we're going to go on further, heading west again. This right here spur was the old Eaton spur, transmission plant spur. They hadn't received stuff in a while, so Mr. Abernathy, the operator and owner of the Walking Horse and Eastern, would just store maintenance away equipment. The spur was very overgrown and everything, and a couple of cabooses still sit there in the weeds to this day. All right, and as you can see, now this is not totally prototypical. It was me trying to fit things in, but now I realize I can actually do it more justice to the prototype, but that's another project. Alrighty, so to the left is the main. It's the main that goes all the way to the west side through downtown Shelbyville to the west side of Shelbyville. This right here is the yard lead, so that went to downtown where the depot and the yard were. But I'm gonna step up on my ladder because I'm a 5-foot tall man. And then I'm going to give you first This right here is the yard lead going downtown where the depot is to this day, but the tracks are gone. Here will be Dixie Grain. This is where it was, and there'll be an extension made off, like a shelf off, to give it, more of an edge. Again, had to widen a few things just due to, O-scale's larger size. Here is the yard. Let's go a little closer. All right, as you can see, there to the right is where the depot will be on an extended yard lead. And you can see that there is, the house track, runaround track, and then there's the third track right there where the blue and white hopper is. If you'll go over to the rail box car, that is the fourth track. And of course, as you can see, that's Depot Street going across the tracks. It's just a representation at the moment, guys. And so there also will be a concrete ramp there that was there. I remember it, and they used to offload flat cars and other things. The yard was a steel steam air size yard. It probably held about 25, maybe 30 cars. I don't really know. And some of the photos I have from back in my teenage days of the walking horse in that yard are gone. And so I think I found one or two, but that's another day. So we're going to go further on down. There's the 1986 caboose project that I got to work on. And eventually, there is my pet project right there. I am really happy with that one. But that's a video for another day, another story of what all I had to do to bring it to what I needed to do with it. Here's the SW9. The SW9 by Atlas. I've got a lot of work to do. I use Dead Rail. Dead Rail is just a battery car and just uses a transmitter and a little command station. Let me show it to you. Again, another day for a different video, a different conversation. It's DCC, but again, it's I've got some wiring issues and I'm looking in on it. But again, time is always a thing. So we're going to go on down and past the yard. I've never done a YouTube channel video before, so y'all just bear with me. This is quite crude, I'm sure, so compared to a lot of the nice ones I've seen. But here's the other side of the yard. A lot of work to do here. When you're from time to time, I may get some help from a couple of friends, but it's far in between because I just have a lot of. I actually work for RailServe as a locomotive engineer and groundsman, and in between that, my family and all that, there's just a lot going on. So time is just whenever I can. So here, again, we're going to point, this is where it's split off for the yard lead to the yard and the main. So when it comes around the main going west into Shelbyville, this is a switch I got to throw in. I just ain't done it yet. And when you go off from right here, this is the Empire Gas lead right here. Believe it or not, that right there will have a bunch of gravel under it because that's the way it really was. They just pulled it up and put it on top of a pile of gravel, and that was the bumper. So as we go around, this was also the downtown runaround track that they had. The main runaround track itself, and went around and went back single again. So going out of town to Shelbyville, going west, there was Musgrave's Pencil, which hadn't received rail cars since in the 50s, but they still were making pencils even to this day, trucks and everything. Here is some rail car kits I got, at the show, my first 2-rail O-scale show I went to in Chicago. And as we go further down, there will be the Tyson plant, which didn't have rail spur. It's gone, but it was there at one time, but it's just going to be represented, just the plant. And then there'll be Empire Pen, which received rail cars. And then further on down on the extension, this will be Shelbyville Mills, or as they call it, National Pen. Shelbyville Mills at one time in the 40s was called Uniroyal. They made tires for the military, but when the war was over, they lost the contract and the building became under a different ownership and a different means. rail cars were only shoved up to the security gate by Walking Horse and Eastern as storage car space. But as far as in them receiving anything by rail car, they receive everything like plastic pellets by trucks to make pens and stuff. So anyway, that is the long and the short of it, as my wife is fond of saying. And this right here, if y'all did notice them, that about looks like my track work right there. That right there is some mats my wife has been getting for me just for my feet, and because she knows I walk trains for a living all day, and so she knows that's easier on my feet than on this. So, but anyway, so right now, again, this is my video, my first YouTube video. If y'all want to see more, please subscribe and leave comments or something. I just, if there is to be more. If not, then I hope y'all like this one, and this kind of gives you an idea of what I am doing, and I'm just gonna give y'all another quick view of everything, just to give y'all, I'm doing the best I can, that's for sure. So let's just end it with the L&N caboose. How's that? There we go. Y'all have a great evening, and kind of let me know what you think. This will be shared to my Walking Horse and Eastern Railroad O-Scale Modeling Facebook page, so check it out. Thank you.